I have discovered a life hack that is sure to keep you organized, not only in your work life, but in your personal life and in your team life as well. And I really, really want to share it with you. It has literally changed the way I do things. It's changed and up leveled my performance and efficiency. And I want to share it with you. So, you know the drill. You got to stick around to learn more.
Welcome to Waist Up Wardrobe. I'm Christine Vartanian, a civil engineer and attorney turned personal style expert and image consultant. As the founder of Jade for All Seasons, I am passionate about unveiling the inner confidence of my clients by developing their personal style. But is getting dressed up still important in our virtual world? Well, that's where my experience can help with what I call Waist Up Wardrobe. Waist Up Wardrobe is a podcast for all things you need to conduct an outstanding Zoom meeting. It's about how to dress for the camera, but it's not just about the clothes. It's about everything you need to know to show up on brand and professionally for the camera. Join me in the Waist Up Wardrobe studio to discuss how to navigate this virtual world and dominate from behind the desk.
Hello, Virtual Nation. Today is a little bit of a unique show. It is sort of going to be a show and tell show, okay? I'm going to walk you through this organizing system that I have utilized as a tool. I started utilizing it as a tool in my business, but then I started adding other elements to it, and it has been a game changer. I'm so excited to talk about this. In fact, I don't even have a script today. I haven't even thought about what I'm actually going to say because I love this tool so much. And I completely believe that it could really change the way people work and be efficient and organize people that are part of their team or their lives, and create a forum and a platform where you can really have all your goals laid out, all the things you need to do, and have a clear vision towards it. So, of course, the title gives it away. It's Trello. Now, a lot of you may already know about Trello, and a lot of you may use it all the time. But I feel as though I've used it a little bit outside of the box, and I actually have used it in a way to kind of not let things fall between the cracks. And I'm just going to get started, and I'm going to just dive right into it. And literally, I'm going to walk you through my Trello boards. We're going to do a show and tell. You'll get to see my boards. You get to see how I do it and ask any questions if you have any questions about, how it works, or if you know how it works, give us tips on how it works. And it's been working for you. But before I get started, I just want to say, thank you for joining us for episode 81 of Waist Up Wardrobe. The virtual world and just working digitally is never going to go away. Yes, there were events in history that have given rise to being virtual or working digitally more for companies and entrepreneurs. But the thing is, it's efficient to work that way. So it's no wonder it's not going to go away. Now, there'll be hybrid situations. There'll be times where you can do both, be in an office and be in person and be in front of your computer. But the truth is that the digital world, the fact that we have gone virtual, that we do more work in front of our computer, has actually elevated our efficiency levels, and it's not going to go away. So that's why it's really great to understand some of these tools that can help with being efficient online or digitally. And Susie Hickson is here, and she can't wait to learn more tips and tricks. And I bet, Susie, you have some tips and tricks up your sleeve when it comes to Trello too, because I know you use it. I know we mutually use it together. And so I'm sure that there'll be a lot of things to talk about here. But seriously, one of the things that I can't wait to share is that I've created my entire vision board for my business, projecting it over the next 5 years on Trello. I have a whole Trello board. Now, a lot of people create these vision boards on poster boards, and they will, have it around them, and they'll continually hone it. And I definitely will have something like that, but I've had a really hard time putting it on a poster. I have it in Trello and I'm going to share it with you guys. I also want to share my super awesome producer and say thank you to my super awesome producer, Rick Moscoso, who makes this production not only amazing, but is such a giver of time and genius. And he will have a lot to talk about and advice to give when it comes to Trello as well, because we use it together as a team. And I know that he uses it outside of this show. So we have a lot to share, and I'm just really thrilled and excited to dive right in. So if you don't know what Trello is a cloud-based organizing platform. Most people use it to organize, I started using Trello by organizing my show episodes, where we would we have a waist up wardrobe board, and we create a card for each show, and the card then is subdivided into like a checklist of what needs to be done leading up to a show. And also it has you know time it has these columns where when you're done with a show or done with part of the checklist, you can move it down the line. It creates this assembly line. It's so cool. I'm so excited. You can tell I love Trello, right? And I've recommended it in so many shows when talking about team and being able to really organize things in a hub. But today we're just going to do a hands-on. So before I get started with that, I'd love to get Rick to step up to the stage and talk to me about his experience with Trello and really what he thinks about the things that we've done together when it comes to Trello.
Trello is a great organizational tool. I started using this years ago, kind of on and off, trying to make the transition from notes, written notes to electronic. And I started using it more and more, and I found that it was more beneficial for my workflow to have it in the cloud, so I could pull it up on any device, rather than I forgot which notebook I wrote that note in, type of thing. And it's in my office, and then I would have to set it aside. It also, for me, I get inspired a lot, spur of the moment. And so if I can jot down that thing that popped into my head, then it's there, and then I can always come back to it later on.
Right.
So it's been a great production tool, for what I do. And I know for us in the beginning, you were a little hesitant. I remember you were a little hesitant to use it because it's just another thing to learn, right? But now you've totally embraced it, and it does help the flow of our production of the show. And I'm sure we're going to get into that a little bit more, but it's great because, especially in production, for us and what we're doing here, we not only, Christine makes these cards for each episode. That way we know which guest is coming, what the question, what the topic's going to be. But there's different phases of production, from the idea phase, and then, okay, let's nail down the topic and discussion, to, all right, now we're ready. Okay, so now we create the thumb for the episode. So it's like we're past the go no go stage of the episode, and now you're getting all the contacts. Now it's ready to go. It's a real show. We've committed to it, and then it also helps me post production wise, because then I know at what phase that I need to prep for uploading the content to iTunes, and those types of things, and some of the other extra things that we do behind the scenes for post-production when we post it to a blog and things like that. So I'm sure you're going to show that a little bit of that workflow, but that's how we use it, and it's been great.
Right. And it really is. I really think once you learn how to use it, and it is so user friendly, that it can really change the way you organize things. And the beauty of it, and if you want to, just to give people understanding of what it is like, if you wanted to do a metaphor, and tell me what you think about this, Rick, is that it's kind of like having a filing cabinet. So you have this filing cabinet, and there's a drawer for each board. A board is a drawer, basically, and in the drawer there are files, and in the files there are documents. So it's kind of like, it's even like the model of my business, where everything's kind of housed in a house, and the house has suites, and the suites break down into rooms, and the rooms break down to features. So you really have, it's kind of like having that filing cabinet, right? It's a filing system. But what I've loved about it is I get really creative with my boards. Like I have them styled, of course, to the topic, the theme of the card, and I can upload a picture. Like I have our thumb for a waist up wardrobe on our waist up wardrobe board. It just is for me, aesthetics kind of helps me enjoy the things that I do. And I just feel like when I start working on my vision board, it's exciting. I'm like in there, I see my vision, I can break it down, I can, put all my notes in there. And oh, this is the one thing that has been so exciting because the idea of using Trello has gone hand in hand with this new philosophy I started with in this year, and that's doing everything now, like do it on the spot. So I think I don't know if I brought that up last time, but my do it on the spot philosophy is basically now, because I never used to do this before, is that when I am thinking about something, I'm going to do it right now. Like if I'm in a doctor's appointment and I need to schedule a follow-up one, I don't wait to go back to that. I schedule it right then and there when I'm there. Or if like I have a pet grooming session for my dogs, I'll schedule the next one right then and there, because otherwise it will wait for years before I get to it. And what I found is that in tandem with Trello has been really, really great. And I'll tell you why. I was at a networking event this past weekend, and typically I would take notes during the event, and I would do it on pieces of paper, and I would take pictures of slides, and it would go on my phone. And so what I ended up with after the conference is something I can never go back to, because I had handwritten notes scattered everywhere, and then I had slides on my phone that I really couldn't find when I needed them. So what I did was I have a Trello board now for my events that I attend, and I created a card for the day one, and then day one had a card for each speaker. And when a speaker actually put a slide that I thought was really important or interesting, I actually took a snapshot of it and put it right into my Trello board. So I've got like all the slides I want and my content right there. I don't have to go, where did I put that folder? Where did I put it on notebook? Which notebook did I put in? That has been amazing. What do you think?
No, that's excellent. You've expanded it and used the platform itself for other things, and what you just described is a perfect example of the flexibility of the platform.
Right.
So, and we do the same thing for the show. So when we do the like when I do the post show production stuff, like the transcriptions and all that stuff, once I get the transcription, it's converted to a Word doc, and we just, I put it into the Trello episodes. So if you ever need to refer back to the transcription of that episode, everything's right there. So it's a great repository of all the episodes with every bit of content that we need, should we have to refer to it. And a lot of times I'll go back to Trello, because you'll ask me about an episode and it's a little bit more time consuming to have to go and load up episodes from like Facebook, right? Because we broadcast to Facebook, but simultaneously we also broadcast to YouTube, and it's not always that intuitive to eat, or it's a little bit more time consuming to search through the YouTube channel to find all the find that content. So Trello is a very much for me anyway, for how I use it for the show. It's a lot easier just to go and recall all that information because everything's right there.
Yeah, it's genius, and it makes me feel so organized. I just love it. The other thing I do, and this is like exactly what electronic filing cabinet is, really. I also have a card, which would be like the drawer, right? That has files and cards for each one of my clients. So when I'm actually, and here's another piece that sort of links in with sort of my do it on the spot philosophy that I started this year. So when I'm on a call with a client, and I I let them know I'm taking notes because, I do, I'm typing. So I don't want them to think they don't have my full attention. Usually I used to just write things on, my notes in their file, and then things get scattered again, just kind of disorganized. It felt very disorganized. And if I didn't take time afterwards to file things away, then, I was found myself looking for stuff. But I have a file for each, a card for each client. And within that card has usually a photograph of them, or at the card starts with a photograph of them, which you could do this because you can use a photograph as the cover page. And so it puts that first. You can tell it that you want it to be the cover page. So it has a picture of the client, or the picture of a set of a client, or something that reminds me of that specific client. And then there is a card for each type of program that they were onboarded into for my work with them. And within that, I will take notes in the session, and then I don't have to go searching for notes. I mean, it's really incredible. Any links that I need to get to a client, they're in there. It's really, I'm just so excited to show everybody, which is what we're going to do next. And I think I'm going to show everybody the Trello board in general. And then I'm going to show you my first card, which is the Waist Up Wardrobe card. And that's the one that I share with Rick. And here's the other thing about Trello that is magnificent is that you can share it with another person, right? So I share the Waist Up Wardrobe card with Rick, and we are both able to make adjustments and modifications in it in real time, meaning that if he makes a change, I'm not aware of it. If I go in and I see it, then I know he did it. So that's just incredible. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my Trello board right now. And I think Rick, if you can't see my board, let me know. But I believe you probably can see it. And the first board I want to share is my Waist Up Wardrobe board. And let me just go out of this really, because I want to show you. So here's my Waist Up Wardrobe board for anybody who is watching this visually right now. It has, and then I have all these other boards. So there's a Waist Up Wardrobe board that's all about the show. There's my Jade Vision Suite board. There is my Jade Mentor and Mastermind room, which is like, this is when I have a conversation with one of my mentors, or I go to a conference, or I mastermind with my mastermind. I put all our notes in there. I have a board called the Workroom, which is my shared board with my VA. And then I have a board called Glam Fam Suite, which is one of my coaching groups that I'm in. I have a whole board dedicated to that networking group. I just recently joined a club called the Insta Club Hub. And I created a board for that is all about Instagram. And I have a board for my client roadmaps. So that's the Jade House of Style client roadmaps. And I'm still formulating some other boards. Now I have the Jade Partners. So those are my partnerships with people, the discussions we have, the plans we have to do together. And this is also somewhat of a partnership. It's my roundtable visionary. I'm a visionary for Pinnacle Global Network. And that is a board that I put all my notes in for my visionary, as a visionary for the people I mastermind with. I recently started a board called the Collab Room, which is, this is kind of an exclusive little group that I run that is comprised of Susie Hickston, who's was on a little while ago, who's like a brilliant attorney and is the founder of a company called Legally Bliss, where she coaches lawyers into really finding their genius, and a great other friend of mine, Kristen Levine, who's a pet influencer. And we collaborate in that collab room that we invented together, and we mastermind. We're just like this, concentrated brain power, just bringing a lot to the table. But let me start by opening up the Jade Waist Up Wardrobe card, and you'll see. So when you open up the card, you'll see I have on the first column, these are my episode ideas, right? So I have several ideas here that we're all marinating on. I'm trying to think about who I'm going to bring in as a guest. Now, yes, these are a little bit out of order because I keep shuffling them around, because you can do that. You can take, like, if I decided I wanted to do this episode, later, then I can move this card down, so these are movable. So this changes order sometime, and you could do that with the card. And then once we have decided what the show is, we put it into pre-production, like Rick was explaining. And so we've decided what the topic is going to be. I have a description already in there, and a title. And so now Rick knows to go grab my description, grab my title, and go and attach a thumb to it, which is these pictures that we attach to the episode on Facebook, and publish it. So let me do this. Let me open up the card for today's show. So I open up the card for today's show, and you can see here. So this is episode 81, How Trello Changed the Quality of My Life. And then here's a description of what we're going to be talking today. Here's the thumb that we associated with the episode. And then anything else that we want to attach, we can to that. And once this show is over with the live stream, Rick will take this card and he'll put it into post-production. He'll start doing all these things on it: cleanup, tagging the audio file, exporting the final MP3, all the stuff that needs to be done, that technical stuff that nobody sees and appreciates, but I do because it's a lot of work. And you can see these were all my thumbs. Some of them are still up here. Some are uploaded to the blog. We have some speedy recaps that we outline here, so you could see all the details about each show. Has its own card and just moves down the line. Rick, do you have anything to describe when it comes to the Trello board that you and I share here, that you want to point out to the audience? I know that he is the one who really works with moving things down the line. So Rick is always really instrumental in keeping this organized and keeping it flowing.
So when you were talking about moving it down the line, it's actually a physical movement where we can just grab the card and we slide it down, slide it over to the next column in the production flow. And so these things it's so flexible in setting up, and everyone's going to do it a little bit differently. We have in pretty much detail, like what each phase, the content of each phase of the show is. And it's really up to the user how detailed you want it or you don't want it. But for us, I know this helps Christine a lot because there's a lot of cogs that happen in not only pre-production but also post-production wise, and that way she can check up on me to see if I if I uploaded the speedy recap or whatever it is. So it just helps when collaborate with your teammates in any project that you're doing.
Correct. And if you can see here, Rick, we have these little notices that come up, so Rick has probably put something in there and he's notifying me that I need to check something or do something. And that's really cool.
Yeah. And a lot of times what Christine will do is one of the things that I usually wait for before I can even post the episode is we decide on a thumb, but more importantly, we also need a description. So when she writes the description, if you want to open up, well, you don't have to open up. When she types in the description of the episode, she'll tag me with @RickMoscoso, and that gives me an alert that there's something there. If she's off doing other things, then I see that I'm tagged on something, and that calls my attention to take a look at what that is. And so you can do that with your team members as well.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So as I go down line, I want to start sharing some other boards, but that is exactly what we do. And I'm trying to get back to the boards. Let's see I don't know if my internet is slow or.
Now, just click on the board. The left column, the boards.
Yeah. So here we are on another board of mine. So with the Waist Up Wardrobe card and board, Rick, do you feel like it helps you as a producer of the show?
It does. And I pretty much I know the flow of production for any of the shows that I do, and they're very similar to what we do here for your show.
Mhm.
It's more of a checklist for me, um, and make sure that I do that task. And then not only that, it also informs the client, which is you, obviously, to where we are in that project. When I was in corporate, we used to use Gantt charts,
Mm.
and to watch the flow of a certain project, especially if it was a big project months away, then we could see and if there was a lot of cogs turning because there were many team members that had assignments for that particular phase in the development of that event, then it was a great way to see a snapshot of where we're at and where we're, are we ahead of the game? Are we behind the game? What are we waiting for? And different things like that. So this is very similar to that, because before we move it to the right, before we slide that card to the right, we know that, we immediately know that, okay, something needs to be done before it can go to the next step.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and share another board of mine, and that's the Jade House Vision Suite. I call that the suite where I do all my vision planning for Jade House's style. And you can see my entire board here, right, Rick? You can see that. The audience can see that. And you could see that
Yes.
the title of the board is Jade House Vision Suite, and this is where I am building my vision for my entire company and all the things I want it to have. So you could see it starts with my brand details, and if I click on my brand details, or actually what you do is you go to the little pencil or pen there and you open the card. um, you'll see my new rebranded logo that is a little bit still in the in the works, but pretty close to being done. And then you could see I have my brand photograph. I have my brand colors. So my brand colors are definitely the jade sage greens, but with the addition of the subdivision of Waist Up Wardrobe, I now consider my brand colors to be the sage green and the red, and the pink adds a cool little element sometimes if you want to change things up. And of course, as I believe that every brand should have a brand metallic, because it can instantly up level and make your brand so sophisticated. And so my brand metallic is gold. So here are all my like brand identity pieces that I house right here in this card. And then I will move you down to the next card, and let's open that card, and you'll see I have a visual of what I envision my space to look like one day in a jade workroom. The one that I'm going to have that will be sort of a woman cave where all women come to gather and sip on champagne while they get styled and get outfitted with whatever they need to be outfitted in. And so you could see I have just some inspiration here. I have my Jade car because that's part of my branding identity. And so I've had this card that lays all that out. Then I have another column right here, and you can see everything's movable. You could click it and move it. I can move it to this side. I can move it back. It's so easy to use. I have a suite called the Jade Styling Suite because I have 3 branches to my work, and that's the Jade Styling Suite, the Waist Up Wardrobe Suite, and the Jade Brand Styling Suite. So those are 3 types of work that I do where I style you as the person head to toe, and everything else that falls into place underneath that, and then the styling of your virtual presence, that Waist Up Wardrobe presence, and then of course the brand styling, which is where I build and design logos, and everything goes into brand identity for clients because everything is part and parcel of your overall brand. So I've taken the board I've created, and you can see this beautiful graphic of this tunnel that you walk through, the white arches. It inspires me to what I want my space to look like for Jade one day, and that is the vision, right? So that's a vision. I've got it in a board. I've got it in my digital filing cabinet, and you just go down the line. I have a lot of different things where I'm like planning each month what I'm going to do to get towards my goals. And it has been so fun to watch this. So if I go into my Styling You card under my styling suite, you'll see I have a lot of my things that I want that about my brand. So for instance, I have questions that I ask myself or want to ask myself. How do I make my clients feel? Well, I think I make them feel like $1,000,000 because that's based on feedback. Who am I to my clients? I'm their fairy godmother. I'll put all that stuff in here. And my all of my my W statement, my vision statement, everything in here is being laid out because I want this as a reference guide to as I'm building my brand to make sure I have something to refer to and it's all documented. When I have the Jade workroom, I will have a makeup room and a jeans fitting room and a brassiere fitting room and a swimsuit fitting room. Well, what do all those things have in common? They're really hard fits for women. So that's to really address. There's going to be a department in each of the each space in Jade that will address problem areas for women. And the list goes on and on. There's so much else. And when it comes to that vision board, and I would love to see what Rick thinks about this. So, Rick, what do you have any thoughts on this? Have you what do you think about the way I've laid out the vision in there?
No, I love it. I mean, you have think of it as projects, right? And each project has its own silo, and then you can expand as much as you want on that. And so I think you've separated them very nicely, something that works for you. And like I said, it's because the platform's so flexible, you
Right.
can you can be as detailed or not as detailed as you need it to be.
Yeah, exactly. And
Mhm.
that just makes it really is such a pleasure. Like I enjoy literally sitting with it and creating it because when I worked with vision boards on paper, it felt a little bit well, because that process is messy and sometimes it's really important to do it that way, but it's always nice to have a final product that you can stare at and enjoy staring at. And
Mhm.
many of my entrepreneurial friends, they will actually hire a graphic artist to put their vision on a poster. And that was sort of the plan I had, and I possibly might still do that. But I feel like this kind of takes the place of that because I can always shift it around, right? If I put something memorial something on a poster board or in paper, I can't shift things around without being messy. So this really helps me be flexible and utilize a tool that in a different way. At least that's what I think. So
Right,
anyway,
right.
yeah,
And you
yeah.
know what? There's and here's the cool thing about Trello, right? Is that if you're not sure if it's the right tool for you, the great thing about it is you can have up to 10 boards for
Mhm,
free, right?
mhm, mhm.
Until you get into the paid platforms, and even with that, it's as low as like $5 for unlimited boards. So once you hit 10, then you have to then 10 active boards, then you have to submit for the paid programs. But you can have more than 10 boards, but you can only have 10 active at a time.
Right, right.
Mhm.
I think, Kristen Levine is here, and she's a Trello fan, and, we were just talking about how I've used Trello to create my vision board, Kristen. So seen that, um if you haven't seen that, go back and listen to a recording because it's I think it's pretty cool. I was just telling Rick that, it allows me to have a vision board that if I wanted to change something or move something around, it doesn't get messy. Like if you have on a poster or if you have it handwritten, it's going to get messy, right? So that really is really cool. And Amani's here as well, and she was saying that she really loves it. And Amani, I'll tell you, it has seriously changed the way I do things. And I've combined it with some other things that I do in life just in the recent past, like doing things on the spot and taking my notes directly when I'm talking to clients right then and there in my Trello board. And Kristen saying, I need to use for personal stuff, not just for business. Absolutely. Yes, 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 yes. So that's the thing. Like I feel like a vision board is sort of the boundary between personal and work. But yeah, you can do that for anything. It's like having this expandable calendar. And so I want to share another board that is really, really impactful. And this is one that I use all the time. And it is my Jade House of Style Client Roadmaps Trello board. Now, I'm not going to get deep into it because I have a lot of, client information, not super sensitive, but sensitive for me, for them. But just want to kind of show you how I lay this out. Now, again, I style my boards like this. You can't really see this graphic in the back, but it's a chandelier and a little French shop. And that's what I want my space to look like one day. And so I'm living it every single day when I'm in Trello. I live it in every single card and every single day. This is my digital House of Jade. So I have a file for each of my clients. Tira is a great client of mine, and she started with me as a client for wardrobe editing. And that I have like this key that I use. I have red, green, red, and yellow. So green signifies somebody who's engaged with me in the styling you space. The red signifies people who have hired me for waist up wardrobe, and then the yellow is for brand styling. So this particular client has hired me in every area to help up level her all the way around. And I love Tira, and she will be on our show one day because we want to talk about all the amazing things that have happened. And then, here's another card for another client who I worked on her set. This is a new client, Maria, and I'll be working on her branding. I haven't color coded it yet. So you could see like I have a column for each one of my clients. And what I do is when I am, working with a particular client, I open their card, and then I will go into their card. I will have all the dates that we've had together, and I'll have like the follow-up and what I've done. If I've contacted them, I'll put it in there. I will also have snapshots of their of sets that maybe I have proposed to them, things that they like, things they don't like. All their stuff is right here with the link. So if I propose a chair to somebody, I have the link in there so I can keep track of everything. Now, question is it tedious to actually do this? And the answer is it's so much less tedious than actually trying to piece all this stuff together in a different forum, on a different platform. Like where would I put it? On a file in my computer? Maybe. But this houses everything right here with the photographs and the links and the client description and, things that they, their solutions and their goals and all that. So really it's very detailed and things, and very versatile in what you can do. And here's a Kristen Levine set that we styled for her. We'll open up her card, and you could see there is her set. And then there is all her things I proposed to her and some of the links that I proposed to her. And, I have a card for each of my clients, and it's a really great way to see their progress and to see how they're doing and where they've come, how far they've come. And Rick, I don't know if you actually use anything like this for your, I don't know if you use this for client files, but isn't it amazing what you could do if you were to organize your clients in a way like this?
Oh, absolutely. And, if you have an ongoing project with a client and you have set timelines, not only for you, who's managing the project, but also for the client, you can establish those in each of the cards. So you set the expectation. Hey, so I need this thing by this date, and you can set that in the card before it moves on down the flow of the project. And it's I don't know. There's a few other software platforms that are similar to this, and I've looked at them. But for me, I think this is great because you have so much flexibility, and you have this basically a 10 project trial run that you can use this with, and it's great for an individual in business. And then obviously as you expand and you have more team members that need to access the project, then you can always upgrade at any time. But for the 10 projects, it's you can do a lot of organizing in that
Yeah.
free space.
And that's the thing, I haven't had to buy the new one yet, but I foresee myself, or the upgraded version, I foresee myself doing that because I think I'm going to be using, like, I'm a lifetime user of this. And it's so interesting because Debbie, hi Debbie, thank you for being here. And she says that she is grateful that I shared this in the mastermind. So Debbie is a fellow masterminder of mine. She is part of the Pinnacle Global Network, and we mastermind together. And I honestly, I brought it up in my Pinnacle, group in my mastermind, and I really didn't think people would be as excited as I was. But Debbie was one of those people that went and checked it out, and she found that it was a really great way to organize a team. And I think, I mean, totally for team, it is perfect because, again, it is in real time. You can change something. You can convey a message to a team member, and you can actually give them a task and then see it get done without, having to text or whatever. You can actually do it within the platform. And so I'm so glad that, Debbie, that has become a good tool for you. I really am really glad that you've gotten benefit out of it. And Kristen is saying that she likes it. She likes Trello because you can use it as little as you want or as much as you want. And that is absolutely true. I started out using it very little. I mean, I started using it for organizing the team of me and you in Waist Up Wardrobe, and the team of me and my VA in the workroom. And it's actually really fun to give them titles too. Like, I just love how it all lays out. That's kind of a me thing. But Rick is like smiling, like, yeah, I know. Yeah, everything has to be styled. But you're absolutely right, Kristen. You can really expand it to as much as you want, or use it as minimally as you want, and still get a great value. And she asked if I was using the calendar feature. Somebody asked that. Oh yeah. And I have not yet. I have not used the calendar function. Rick, do you know anything about the calendar function in Trello?
Oh, back when I first started looking at it, I dug into it a little bit, but I haven't used it myself, so I can't comment on it because I don't use it in my normal workflow.
Yeah, I think it's a good one to check out. I wonder if there's a way to sync it up with calendars or whatnot. But for me, I love to take the baby steps. I feel like I've come a long way with Trello, and I feel like, oh yeah, I can see it going, like, doing so much for me, so much more for me. So yeah, definitely something I want to look into. Kristen is also saying, I think it just allows you to assign due dates. Oh, and things, but then you have to toggle over to the calendar to see them in a calendar format. That's why I haven't used it yet. It's just not an extra, it's just an extra stuff that I can't remember to do. Yes, exactly. So,
Mhm.
the fact that you can't really sync it up with the calendar or anything like that, I think it's fine, because I still have a very robust calendar that I refer to, but that would be nice if you can sync things in. But yeah, I get how they probably use that function, is that to be able to toggle over to the calendar and see them, and to assign due dates to things, which that's interesting too. You can do that, which we do that,
Yeah,
you and
yeah,
I.
yeah. To that extent, I mean, I use it for that.
Yeah.
I use it to set, you know, um, timelines with other clients. So if I expect something from them at this certain date, they can, when they come into the Trello flow, they can see, oh yeah, I forgot, I need to give that person, or I need to give Rick that asset before he can move on. And so it's just, again, it's just another reminder, another thing that helps you in with a checklist. And also it's because it's here in the board, then not only do I see it, but so does the client. So it just helps getting the things that you need.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So I want to share a couple other boards. The one I call Jade Mentor and Mastermind Room. So again, if you open it, you'll see this great graphic, because this is like that French library that I will have one day in the Jade workroom. So this is where I really expanded the use of this past weekend. I was at a retreat, and for my mentoring group, Pinnacle Global Network, Allison Maslin puts on this event called Level Up Live, and I was there, and I decided to take all my notes right into Trello, and under my mentor mastermind room group card, and then or board rather. And what I did was I just started taking my notes. Magic Johnson was there and he was speaking, so I took the notes. Everything here, like I got to highlight like the big takeaways and the aha moments, and right there, like typically I would have done that by taking notes, and then I always refer back and it's messy or I can't read it. So I did it right there and then. And then there's another speaker, Mari Smith. And then the slides that they put up, instead of taking a clip of it with my photograph, my phone, and it's not having it tying back to the conversation, I took a picture of it and I put it right into my Trello board. Now, this is so great. This I feel like has been my biggest breakthrough recently. And so Mari Smith is a social media expert. She was talking. This is one of the slides she put up, and I just took a snapshot of it and I put it into my board, and it was really, really good. And so, as you can see, my snapshots, my boards, the pictures I took that day, my notes, everything's right here. I could even go and put in attachments. And this is the other cool thing, right? You can put attachments into here. So I can go ahead and, like, if I click on the attachment, and if I want to add something from my computer, I can add from my computer. If I want to add something from the drive, I could do that. From Dropbox, I can do that. Oh my God, like all these features. What do you think, Rick?
There are a ton of them, and and that's where I love this, because you can also, we haven't even talked about this, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but there are things that are called power-ups, which are basically plugins to integrate outside things. Like you can integrate Gmail into Trello. So if there was a note or an email, right, that you got from a client, and you want that in your workflow, then you can send it directly to your workflow Trello board, and it's there. It's right there in the file, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a million different things that you can add on as you start growing and expanding your use of Trello. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so cool. I mean, that's a kind of, I feel like we need to have a part 2 to like how we continue to use Trello as I get more and more well versed in it. But oh my gosh. And so Kristen's asking, do you pay for power-ups?
Yes. Power-ups are, I think it's based on, I've got to look back. You have, based on your subscription level, some of the power-ups are included. Otherwise, you just add on to what a specific plugin that you need. So yes, they are chargeable items that are added onto your monthly subscription, but they're pretty nominal. You know,
Not a huge investment, not something that would be prohibitive or anything like that.
no, not at all.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I think that is really great. And the thing is, you don't have to have all those things, right? But honestly, like Trello can really, even if you use it at the most basic level, it can really help you get organized, right? So I'm going to go back to my board here, and so this is sort of now my masterminding room, if you will. And this has all like the conversation that Michael Burnoff gave today, not today, this weekend. Again, I took all my notes, all my aha moments, all the things he said. Let's see what this says, because that might be good. That was me actually coming up with my tagline on the spot as we were masterminding. So nurturing my clients' effortless style is what I do. Okay, so going back, I want to share one more board, and because I think it's a different type of board, and I think that could be really helpful for people. So I'm going to go back to the boards. Let's see, and here are the boards. And so I went over my client roadmaps, the Jade House of Style client roadmaps board, and then the House Vision board, and then the Jade Waist Up Wardrobe board, and the Mentorship Room board. I have a board for my Jade partners. So any affiliates I have, that's where I coordinate all the stuff there. I have a roundtable visionary board because I'm a roundtable visionary for Allison Maslin. And I have a collab room, which I share with 2 of my favorite entrepreneurs, and we mastermind. And I'm building out some new boards. But the one I want to share right now, and the final one I want to share, is the workroom. And the workroom basically is what I call the workroom, is all the projects I have with my VA. Oh, where'd it go? here, did I click on that? So this is my personal projects, my Jade projects, my House of Style projects. We have this, all the different things that I do, and all the different projects that we have together. And in that workroom, myself and my VA, she will put like notifications. See, I haven't even looked at this. So I have to order hot lunch apparently for Isabel. And this is like what, to Kristen's point, Kristen, this is where I manage a lot of my personal stuff, right? So it's in my workroom board where my VA and I connect, and that is sort of everything. That's the hub. That's the bloodline, the hub of the business, and of everything I do, business and personal. And so we have it delineated by my personal projects. I have a column for each one of my children, because sometimes she'll have to do hot lunch for one of my kids, and it'll be in there. It's like, oh yeah, today I finished the hot lunch. I ordered for all of the month of November. So I'm like, phew, good. I don't have to worry about that, right? Because I typically, things would fall between the cracks. So with the hashtag Trello and Shine, I want to jump on a call with you for 15 minutes. If you have any questions about how I use Trello, if you want to see my boards again, if you want to get some more ideas of how to use it, put the hashtag Trello and Shine. Let's jump on a call and let me walk you through mine again, or answer any questions, or collaborate with you, and kind of throw around ideas of how other ways we can use it. And just, I would love to have you start building your own vision board in Trello. I just think it makes it so much more doable. And for somebody like me who's always intimidated by that vision board, because I didn't want it to be messy, I want it to look beautiful, and I didn't feel like, oh, I wanted to do this and take it to a graphic artist. It's a great way to keep it beautiful and aesthetic. So with the hashtag Trello and Shine, put the hashtag Trello and Shine, drop it in the comments, and let's jump on a call and talk about it. Let's talk about how Trello can really up-level your life. And I hope this was helpful, because honestly, the reason I brought the show to the audience today is because I have found it to be life-changing. And everybody I've talked to and recommended this to has felt like it's really, really had an impact. Maybe a small impact, but an impact nevertheless. And so that was very compelling to sit there to really put out all these ideas for people to perhaps want to do it for themselves. So anyway, Waist Up Wardrobe weekly wrap up is that the main takeaway is go to Trello.com, and I'm not an affiliate for Trello or anything like that. I just love using it. So Trello.com, and start dabbling in it. If you haven't ever touched Trello, just kind of look at it, see what it could do for you. The tool itself is Trello. I mean, it's the biggest tool that has changed the way I do things, and it's really been impactful. So it's Trello.com. Tips when you first start using Trello is just like, think about one area of your life that you really want to organize. Maybe it's just you want to organize your team. I have my team organized. I have a separate board with Rick and a separate board with my VA, but some people have much larger teams, and everybody has to be in the know of what's going on. So then you have like these boards that you can organize a whole team with. So pick an area of your life that you really want to see change for the better in terms of organization, and just start with that and start building in those cards and start seeing how it can work for you. And finally, action item, just look up Trello.com and mess around in it. Don't feel like you need to get it all done and figure it out at once. And I am available with the hashtag Trello and Shine. I'm available. I want to talk to you about how you can use this to really, really better organize yourself, because I know the impact it's made for me. So hashtag Trello and Shine. If you're listening to on the replay, you can also put that in, and we'll get together with you and we can talk about it. So thank you today for joining us on another episode of Waist Up Wardrobe, episode 81. I'm so thrilled that you came and you joined Kristen and Debbie and Manny and Susie. Thank you so much for being here. I am thrilled that I hope that I've given you one little idea that can actually you can implement and make life better with. Okay, I'll see you next time. How do you set yourself up for success at the beginning of a new year? So implementing, okay, I okay. Now I'm nervous because I know that you're catching me on all my takes. So I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, but I do believe in staying organized and committed. But I do believe in staying committed to staying organized. In episode 75 of Waist Step Wardrobe, a new year and a new balancing act, in episode 75 of Waist Step Wardrobe, a new year, a new balancing act, is maybe pick one or two things that will keep you organized every day. Oh, I'm going to do this over again. Okay. I list 10 really key things that have been game changers for me that have helped me stay on task, and I know they can help you too.
Yep, that'll work.
That'll work. Okay.
Good
Yay.
job. Those are always fun, right?
Blooper reel, blooper reel. Oh my goodness. Okay, well that was fun. That actually, I feel like this episode is one of my favorites because honestly, I feel like the Trello situation has really, really, really impacted. It's just so easy to use. It's so cool. I can make it look pretty, you know?
I know. Yeah, you know what? I was now that I was talking about it, there are a bunch of plugins or power-ups that are free.
Okay.
That like what the one that I was referring to with Gmail, that one's free.
Oh,
And
okay.
so should just take a look at the power-ups, and I think there's an icon on the dashboard when you go into the main Trello area. There's a button I think that says in the upper towards the right hand side of the app, there's a thing called power-ups, and it'll kind of explain, it'll give you a grid of like all the different plugins that are available.
Yeah. So that's something that I think I'll probably dig into at some point, but I'm probably going to put that in the comments for Kristen, because you're saying there are some free ones, right?
Yeah.
So I want to post that to her comments because she was asking if you have to pay for them, but there are some free ones. So that's good to let her know that. Okay. So I need to do my speedy recap because I got to jump.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Are we going to stay live?
Of course. I need more material.
You need more blooper material. I know.
Yeah.
This time I think I'm going to do it and I'm going to be flawless.
Okay. One take, Christine, right?
Yeah, right.
All right, let me mute.
Never happens.
I'm going to mute, and then you can go ahead and start when you're ready.
Yeah, okay.
All right, here we go.
Let's see. What was the title? Okay. How does it usually start? Wait, gosh, I forgot how I do the speedy recaps. Let me see.
No, you don't say the episode until you come back. Usually you pose a question.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I have discovered the life hack for staying on top of things and being organized, not only your personal life and your work life, but also with your team and everybody else you do work with or business with. And I want to share that with you. And I am so excited. This episode right here completely makes my heart want to sing because I have used it in so many ways to get organized. And I want to share it with you so that you can use it too.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
Next.
I know. I'm working on it. How Trello changed my in episode 81 of Waist Up Wardrobe, how Trello changed my life for the better. Oh, wait, no. How Trello changed my quality of life. Okay. In episode 81 of Waist Up Wardrobe, how Trello, the platform Trello, changed the quality of my life. Oh my gosh, I want to share that with you so badly. And in this episode, the Waist Up Wardrobe weekly wrap up in a nutshell basically boils down to this. The main takeaway: go check out Trello.com and see what it can do for you. It is an organizing platform. And seriously, you can put your whole vision board on it. You can organize your team with it. It's an iCloud-based platform where it is in real time. So if somebody makes a change in it, you automatically see it and you can work with your team through it. It has been life-changing. The absolute most amazing tool I've discovered, Trello.com. Go check it out. And action item, go listen to my episode 81 of Waist Up Wardrobe on Facebook, because I'm going to tell you, I walk you through all my boards and how I do Trello and how I've used it in some outside of the box ways and some inside of the box ways. And they might just intrigue you and get you started to get more organized. Is that good?
I'm
Is
disappointed.
it good? You're disappointed? Why?
Yeah, because
Why?
I don't have any material for the
Oh,
bloopers
for bloopers. Hey, you know what that means? That means I'm
Good
getting
job.
better.
Yes, you did a
But
great job. That
trust
was
me,
awesome.
you just have to go back and look at everything else. I have so many bloopers. It's like
Oh, believe me, yeah, there's
there's so
material
many
there.
that you haven't tapped into yet. I mean,
Right.
gosh,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Well, I'll have something new for next week.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Speaking of next week.
Mhm. Yeah, we have
Oh,
we have
hold on. Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me kill this real
yeah.
quick.
Yeah, we don't want to reveal it yet.